It's Tuesday's market SITREP here at TGO. My name is Matthew Buckley, the Chief Option Strategist, call sign Wiz. And folks, what an absolutely crazy morning. We had a great primary live trade brief this morning. If you remember and you didn't attend, make sure you watch the replay, which I'm going to get out here shortly. But this is nuts. Here's a chart of the VIX. The VIX was up, I don't know, 15, 17% at the open. Look at this. On what, Wiz? What do you mean on what? Folks, yesterday, I was throwing the football around with my daughter, and my son, Matthew, and the phone starts going crazy over what? Krima, some young guy, launched a ballistic missile. I'm not going to say ICBM because it rolls off the tongue like it's nothing. An intercontinental ballistic missile, which, of course, our intelligence agencies, up until a couple weeks ago, said years away from developing. And then quietly on page D12 said, yeah, they probably have that now. They launched it over Japan. Millions of questions, folks. Prime Minister, if I was Wizoki doing my live trade brief this morning in Tokyo, I'd be screaming for that guy's resignation. Why didn't you shoot this ballistic missile down? Do we not have this capability? And are we all going to die? Folks, last night when this happened, take a look at the radius here, guys. You see the end of this this red arrow? Why did he do this? Let me kind of swing this little explosion thing down where? To behind this guy's hat. Guam. This went the same, almost the same range, folks. I wonder why he did this, as Guam. Ladies and gentlemen, last night in Japan, air raid sirens go, or their daytime, whatever it was, air raid sirens going off, their news channels screaming to take cover. Holy crap. This is insane. What do we care about? This is obviously a human tragedy, folks. I'm not discounting this. My brother lives in Houston with his wife and my two nephews. Horrific. I get it. Look at the Drudge Report, guys. This is all we care. All the media is going to care about this afternoon is Trump getting off an airplane and where is he? Galveston or Austin or what? Nobody. Look at what happened, folks. North Korea launch finally stokes market reaction. Remember one of my wizisms, the market only cares when it cares. Look at what the Cosby did. Not the Bill Cosby who should be in jail for the rest of his life. The South Korea's index is called the Cosby. It fell about 1.6% and then what? Rebounded strongly. Look at the VIX, folks. We talked about this in the live trade brief, guys. It imploded as I talked throughout the morning. Let's look at the SPX, the S&P 500. What did that do this morning? There's the open. Up. You can't make this stuff up, folks. This is a major escalation. What did Donald Trump say back here when the market imploded? When he launched not even this bottle rocket over an ally, over their country, folks. I don't know if that's sunk in yet. I'm, as a military guy who could be sitting on an aircraft carrier off of North Korea right now going, this is game time. This is his fire and fury comment. If this dude doesn't knock it off, I'm going to rain fire and fury on him like he's never seen. Look at the market. Nuts. We talked in the primary live trade brief about hedges last Tuesday. I said get long VIX October calls and SPX or SPY puts. Members close those out for a 20-30% gain in a week. Closed them this morning, and then I said get back in them. This is what's going to be happening, guys. The VIX can spike in the blink of an eye when it freaks the hell out, and then does what? It imploded when people this morning said, let's worry about Trump in Texas and calling him a racist, or the fact that he hasn't condemned the hurricane, he should resign. This is crazy, folks. You want to hear it? This isn't funny, but it's funny to me as an aviator. North Korea uses 70-year-old biplanes. They might not even be picked up on radar. He could put a nuke on a couple of these things and fly them to Guam or Japan and obliterate everybody, and our Aegis-class cruisers and guided missile destroyers wouldn't even see these things on their high-tech radar. Nuts. This is crazy, folks, and the fact that the VIX is back down to its resting heart rate after a guy fires a ballistic missile over another country is stupid. Trump, all options are all on the table. It was Pulp Fiction a couple weeks ago, folks, when he said, I'm going to rain fire and fury down upon this guy if he does it again. What's going to happen? The dude ain't giving up his nukes, and he's waving a red flag in front of Donald Trump, a guy I wouldn't wave a red flag in front of because he's probably mental. This is crazy, guys. If you got in and out for a nice profit in a week, a 20 to 25% gain on hedges in a week is awesome. Take it, get those hedges back on here, guys. This is, as a military guy and an American, I'm stunned that this is the market reaction. I am absolutely shocked. There you go. There's the end of the red arrow. Swing this all the way down under these people taking a picture of a picture. Odd. It's Guam. The U.S. military has ordered what? U.S. citizens and non-essential military personnel out of Guam and South Korea. We are getting ready for game on, and the market's acting like nothing's happening. I can't. I've taken a lot of time on this, guys. I just can't. It's shocking. Here's also something that's shocking. The fact that Janet Yellen did not get fired last week. Last week, the beautiful people got together in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Mario Draghi, the Janet Yellen of Europe, Janet, the Mario Draghi of the United States, and patted themselves on the back and more or less poked Donald Trump. You ready for this? Here's Ms. Yellen. Already for some, memories of the financial tsunami may be fading. Memories of just how costly it was and why certain steps were taken. Any regulatory changes should be modest and should retain the structure built under Frank and Dodd. A not-so-subtle poke at the president. Her executive officer, Fed Vice Chief, Stanley Fischer, was a little bit more blunt. You know, one can understand the political dynamics of this thing. You ready? Listen to this, folks. But one cannot understand why grown, intelligent people would reach the conclusion that you should get rid of the things you put in place in the last 10 years. Look at the Journal. Thank you, Senator Fisher. Who are these people? The non-political Federal Reserve. She's going to be fired eventually once the hurricane and North Korea. And Gary Cohn, the Goldman Sachs limousine liberal Democrat, who we thought was going to resign here with Treasury Secretary Mnuchin because everybody knows Trump's a well-known racist, but they didn't. He's going to become the Fed chief, and the market's going to rally 2 to 2.5%. You heard that here. So, folks, it's shocking to me. Fed's Yellen defends post-crisis regulations in Jackson Hole. What is she going to do? Is she going to go to Jackson Hole and go, we shouldn't have done any of this? Of course she's not. But it is time for you, ma'am, to get out of capitalism and let free markets work. Can't stand this. If I was Trump, when I read these comments, this is like Steve Bannon a couple weeks ago, giving that article that more or less signed his pink slip. No military option in North Korea. He slammed a bunch of stuff, and he resigned. She is slamming the president for a bunch of stuff, subtly, not so subtly. She needs to go. But, folks, this is, who cares? Wiz, you told us, and you tell us over and over, you have to trade the market you have, not the one you want. Not that I want a VIX at 30 or the S&P down at 2,000. But when this is happening, folks, the fact that Prime Minister Abe did not shoot this thing down either says he doesn't have the capability, which he's supposed to with his Aegis cruisers, the big flat panel, hit a bullet with a bullet. He didn't shoot this thing down, folks, and the fact that we didn't shoot it down creeps me out even more. I just, get your hedges on, guys. I predicted an October implosion with what? The debt ceiling. Where's our debt ceiling debate? Wherever it is. Guys, you know, I think October is going to be the most volatile. I thought we were going to do a strike in October. That might be pulled up. And I think the debt ceiling debate with the president, here it is, investors are wagering on a debt ceiling disaster. Old Mitch and Mary, Mitch McConnell and Ryan and Trump are going to go a couple rounds in October on the debt ceiling. Folks, I get the markets going up. We did some good trades today. We talked about some good stuff. Get your hedges on. It's not a cheesy tagline when I'm about to sign off like right now and say happy hunting, which means have some good trades and make sure you hedge. I'm not joking, man. I'm still stunned that I'm even talking about a ballistic missile launched over Japan. In ICBM, guys. If you were in Japan last night, look at this. Hokkaido, Japan. Alarms were sounded. You can play this clip. People were in air raid shelters, folks. This is going on the other side of the world. What are we talking about? Trump's a racist, a flood, and everything else. Hedge, guys. Hedge, hedge, hedge. If you're not a member, you got to join. You got to get on board, guys. Do not be trading this market solo. You can take a 2-week test flight on our homepage at topgunoptions.com, or you can wait a week and a half if we're all still alive. And we're going to be doing a full throttle launch. Our premier industry-leading full throttle program is coming up. But you could also just go to the homepage here and jump into a 2-week trial to see what we do here and talk about hedging. Don't fly around this market solo, folks. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. And I'll be back with Wednesday's market SITREP if we're not all dead from a ballistic missile strike, okay? I'll talk to you guys later. We'll see.